Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! Yes, get yourself an alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverage, in this case, of any description, because it is time for another episode of The Sunday Roast. Yes, it is The Sunday Roast, a show where we watch your videos that you send in, and we decide if they are good, or if they are absolutely terrible, or if they're somewhere in between. We like to try and keep it relatively nice here, and we try and help you learn and grow. And maybe you'll help me learn and grow, because maybe you're way better than me. Cool, right. Let's get into it. Mohammed Nur Arifin. Here we go. All-footage shot on iPhone 15 Pro, 240 frames a second, 1080p. All right, then. I'm going to stop you immediately because you have stolen my sound design straight out of one of my videos. I don't like when people do this. Maybe you don't know that it's not an okay thing, what you have done. In my mind, this is as bad as taking someone's video and just then making it your own video. Sound is like 65%, in my personal opinion, of what carries an audio-visual experience forward and what makes it good. And so you, by downloading my work, taking the sound design out of it and using it underneath, you're cheating yourself, and you're cheating me, and you're cheating the sound designers of the world who make these incredible sound packs that I use. So, if you'd like to go and buy anything from Ocular Sounds, which is what this is all from, I know, because I've put it all together, you're most welcome to. That being said, let's just watch your video that you've basically built off my sound design and stolen, and see if it's any good. Yeah, it is. It's just like, it's kind of it's a very, very similar. You've taken my sound design and then just copied very similarly the sorts of things that I do, which is fine. Style-wise, I don't really mind people being influenced by the style, but just don't take my sound design. You silly Billy. Brief things, shot on an iPhone, so like you're not gonna have tons of latitude when it comes to grading, and you've cranked this grade a lot, which is fine, but it is falling apart a little bit. You're pushing it just a little bit too much. I would ease back a bit on the strength of the contrast you're piling into this grade. You're obviously doing the optical flow trick. Whether you're doing it in DaVinci with speed warp as well, you probably are, because bits are looking pretty smooth, but it's falling apart a bit. Like this wheel here, that pulls me out of it. This shot's awesome. That's a banging shot. I know they're very left frame, and like be nice if they're a bit further over, but like that's just what you gotta, that's what you managed to get, and that's a sick shot. Very, very nice. You're starting to get the artifacting around this guy here. Like, that's just not very good. Like, I just wouldn't... The thing with that little slow motion trick, which if you haven't seen, I've done a video on how to turn sort of regular slow motion that you've already shot and take it even further, even slower in DaVinci Resolve if you've got the paid studio version. And you can go and watch that now. But this, you don't want to push it too far, because I'm just yanked out of this edit now, because it's like, ooh, very artifacty and not great. But yeah, not too bad. Just don't take my sound design. Go buy the sound packs yourself. Learn how to sound design, perhaps with some help from me on some of my videos, and do it yourself, Mohammed. Okay, I'm not grumpy. Not grumpy. Here we go, on to the next one. Sholan Visvanathan. Visvanathan? Visvanathan. I think I've got that right. Sholan Visvanathan. Hey Paddy, this was inspired by you. Tell me what I can do better. Well, let's find out. I've attached the video, but regress. Here's the high quality link. If this is a transfer, it's going to have expired. Ugh, why are people so foolish? Don't send me things. Oh, you have sent it here though as well. Alright. Alright, let's watch it. nice. You are right. It has compressed like crazy. So I'm sorry I can't watch your HQ version, but we'll make do. I wouldn't lead with this shot because it's a bit like meh. Like it's just this is the most uninteresting frame ever. Unfortunately, it's not. Nothing against you who's in it, but it's just, I assume this is you, unless this is a pal and you're shooting them. But, like, open with something different. That's kind of nuts. I don't know what's going on there. I think that I know this isn't as good a quality as it could be, but, like, the grade on that looks mental. A bit too mental. This Aston's cool, but, I mean, it's kind of... It's basically it's a bit mishmashy. There's like a lot, and also the way we drop from the start of that track. It's a good. This could be cool. I would want it to keep going. I would want it to keep going. It's the "Have you been high alive?" But it just the like boom. It doesn't. I think we're still in the same track, but in a different point. It feels very strangely pulled out from under us. We just sort of disappear on it. Don't know. It's not quite hitting. And I think it's just a bit too mishmashy. And that bus is a very nothing shot as well. I think shot selection and shooting more interesting stuff, and then also kind of having a bit more of a it's kind of left and right and up and down and everything without being anything at all. Sort of everything and nothing. So, yeah, some things to work on there. Glenn Pengiran. Dear Paddy, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing you to take a big old dump on my work. Right. Oh, if someone sends me one more Instagram video, I'm going to not watch it. For future, if you're sending in videos to the Sunday Roast, and if you send them as an Instagram link, I don't think this is right either.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, I'm coming.
Look at this man's jaw. Good lord, who's that? I don't think that's yours, though. Well, that just hasn't even worked for us. Here we go. I now can't watch it because it's flipped. How do you expect me to watch this properly if I'm going to have to do this? This is really annoying, Glenn, but come on then.
Not merely what is left behind, but what was carried forward. Strength born of forgotten trials. Instinct shaped through millennia. It is a gift, a burden, a silent oath. Passed down, not chosen. Inherited, not simply earned. Forged in blood, guided by those before.
Ancestral transcendence. This is pretty good. There's definitely some good foundations here. I really like a lot of the techniques being used. I like some of the sound design's pretty freaky and pretty weird and glitchy, which I like.
Not merely what is left behind, but what was carried forward.
We're nearly there with the way we're pulling our techniques together and the way I think the sound design maybe is just a little bit too on the nose, but you are a long way ahead of a lot of people. So I think on the sound design, you're just gonna have to keep at it on that one and just try and keep learning how to like just smooth it out a bit, just like levels and how we're panning things and how we're sort of mixing things in. Just like a few bits are a bit too kind of like, whoa, smacking me a bit too much, and a few bits are not smacking me enough kind of thing. The thing, voiceovers are so tricky. Yeah, I don't know. Voiceovers are just, they're very tricky to nail. I think the early part of this, the first few lines, I liked because everything was sitting well. It was kind of an anticipatory sort of state where we were like getting ready for it, and then it gets into the action. I think the problem with voiceovers when the action has begun, that tends to be where people fall down a lot, and I see it happens. It happens on client projects a lot for me, where they've got like this big long voiceover, and you're just sort of like, at some point we're gonna have to get into the voiceovers work when it's very ethereal and slow and building to something. Then the action happens, and then we can return to the voiceover at the end. Your color, the grade when the color's there is great. Really like it. But your black and white color grading falls down a bit. I think you're cranking it a bit too much. You're sort of pushing it just a little bit too far. But yeah, there are some really good bits in there. I think just repetition. Just do more. Because you've got a lot of it fairly well licked, it's hard to really suggest too many things that I would do to change it. But the foundation is good there. I think the obvious one is get rid of all the voiceover once we get into the action. Let's really sell that action, like the core chunk of the middle of that video. Just let that action play, and like that's the meat of it. That's the meat of the sandwich. And then we can come back to the voiceover at the end. But no, very good, Glenn. Andreas Christophides. Right. Hello, Paddy. Big fan of work, mate. Oh, thank you very much. I'm sending an aftermovie of a festival I filmed a few months ago solo. Most effects are on camera. Love to hear it. Love to hear your comments while sipping Guinness. Well, here we are. Very good timing, as we have one. A delicious Guinness Zero in our hands. It is Zero. I like, as much as I like to think I'm a bit nuts, it is 9 in the morning, so on this occasion I'm just not going to have a full fat Guinness. There's also a bit in the caption, not an Animorphic Club member yet. What he means by that is he has not purchased one of these beautiful Animorphic Club hoodies, which you now can, if you would like to, in order to feed my drink habit. Right. So this is a longer edit, which we don't get many long edits, and I don't want people to think that like 10-second Instagram videos are a very good thing to be doing all the time. It's great, but I think we still want to be flexing our, longer creative muscles. Okay, sorry to do this, but we are on a time schedule, and I am just going to skip forward because I think I know what's going to happen. Fengaros 2025. I wonder where that was. Greece? Greek? Cyprus, there we go. Kornos in Cyprus. I bet that was an awesome time. So, one very particular thing I'm going to get into is music. I think your understanding of music definitely needs to improve a bit, and the way you edit your music together. Like that, I couldn't figure out what was going on there. They're like, it just doesn't. We're in totally different keys, as in the key of the music of the song, like which is totally in my head, and it just isn't. The vibes are totally different, and I get you're trying to get from this into that. And then it's all nice and nice and friendly. So that's the first thing, and I think you then do it to get back into our sort of vibey stuff later. Like, it just doesn't. You're just sort of blending the two together, which is, it's kind of fine, but it's just you can definitely learn to do that a lot better, and that's just an understanding of both music and editing, which kind of just comes from time and just like hard work. You just got to work hard at figuring out how to move from music to there's a good pal of mine called Joe Benson, who's a phenomenal editor, and I'm just going to put very quickly hit a clip from his showreel up where he goes from one track into the next. He's changing the pace of his edit by basically remixing the track himself, and all he's doing is taking a section of the track, looping it quickly, so he's just going copy paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. So it's going da baga da ga da ga da ga da ga da. And then he lets the track continue, which is where the drop comes. So it's all about tension. It's all about building tension and then releasing it. You don't really build any tension here. It's just kind of like we're just jamming two songs together and trying to get from one section to the next. Only other thing I would say is, like, I said this recently on just a short I did about events. I think this is classic. Like, this is what I did early days of shooting events. Like, you're just filming everything that's happening, and then you're just cutting to the beat and just showing lots of different things. And it's a bit of a clusterfuck of like everything. What you want to be doing, and this is how you're going to get your event work much better, is you want to be going to these events with basically a shot list in your head. Everything that's going to happen is the same shit. It's a band on a stage, you've got hospitality, you've got vendors and tents of things going on, you got the camping, and then you got the stages. Like, everything at a festival is... Some festivals are gonna, when they book you on to do the after movie or shoot for them, they're gonna make a big deal about, yes, there's all this really great different stuff we do. It's like, no one does anything that differently. It's all the same. So the structure of them is kind of similar. You've just got to get your head around what you need to shoot, and then make a shot list of how you want to shoot it. Like, you need to be thinking of creative mechanisms like hyperlapses and match cuts and like all of these little tips and tricks and tools of the game to try and tell the story of this festival more interestingly than just going shot of a band, shot of a band, shot of a band, shot of a Carlsberg on the floor, shot of a... Like, if we're going to show... If someone said, look, we need to show Carlsberg, we need to show the main sponsor of the venue, other beverages are available, let's do that in an interesting way. Like, let's strap a camera to someone drinking a Carlsberg. Let's, like, get a camera inside the Carlsberg as the beer comes down. Like, just all of these things, you need to put them all together. Plan your shoot, go and execute on your shoot, and then plan your edit as well and execute on the edit. And suddenly this becomes a much better after movie instead of just a sort of montage of everything that's happened. So I hope that helps in some way. Andreas, thank you very much. Nash Borman. I recognise that name. I have a feeling you've Stop sending me Instagram videos, motherfuckers! Have we spoken before, Nash? We have. And I remember watching this. Right, let's go back to the start.
Yeah. I remember watching this and thinking, yeah, like, this is so great. This is probably the first. So congratulations, Nash. This is probably the first video I've had on the channel and doing the Sunday roast where it's like, he's done basically everything right. Like he has nailed it, and I think he does this. I think this is kind of his content style, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he does this how it feels listening to, which I think is just he is very good. He's got a good. He's pulled some serious numbers as well on a lot of this. This video did really well, and it's no surprise because it's a really well made video. Like the whole premise of this is, he lays it out at the start how it feels listening to Mr. Blue Sky, and then he nails the feeling of how it like, and that's the whole point of that's the whole reason we put stuff into the world, and that's the whole reason why stuff does well, is because when you actually do nail the feeling, when you nail how it does feel, that's what hits with people. They go like, yeah, that is how it feels to listen to Mr. Blue Sky. I think it ends very strangely. It does this. You start really well, and then it just kind of, I think it just sort of like goes on a bit long without any. All of that's great. The cuts to the beat, digga, perfect. Like all of the techniques are there. The colour's lovely. Shooting at the right time of day. We're shooting late. Got a nice low sun flaring into the lens. Like it's just good. Like you don't need any advice on how to shoot these things better. Like you can just keep tweaking, keep getting better at all those little techniquey bits. But yeah, it just kind of, these drone shots are now getting a bit like, nah. I think you've obviously got a good brain. You've got a good sort of ideas brain. So you could definitely come up with other things if you wanted to make it as long as it is. For those final sort of like 4 or 5 seconds, you could definitely put some more things that are like how it feels to listen to Mr. Blue Sky. Like it's perfect so far. It's skipping around and but do you, I don't know, get an ice cream and just doing a bit more, wake me up before you go from Zoolander with the boys, like in the Jeep Wrangler, like something like that would elevate that even more. But it's already, you've nailed it. You've nailed it in the first 4 seconds, and that's why it's done well on Instagram, because you've ticked the box. He's a funny guy as well. I like him. Like he's got it. Oh, I don't even follow you back. Go on then, boy. You've got it. I love music and like making fun stuff. That's why Nash is going to go and do very well, because he's just doing it because he loves it. Very cool. Right, boys and girls, another Sunday roast comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you maybe learned something. If you didn't, then what are you going to do? You take care now, everyone, and until next time, bye-bye.